Hello everyone. Now, before we start, let me ask one question. When was the last time you went an entire lecture without checking your phone? Not putting it face down, not turning it on silent. I mean, truly, not touching it at all throughout the entire lecture. Most of us can't remember, not because we don't care about the lesson, but because our attention is competing with the device to steal it. Today, I'm not here to argue against technology. In fact, I'm here to argue for protecting students from losing themselves in it. Because Indonesian universities need screen time regulation and digital wellness policies to protect student mental health, academic performance, and long term well being. So, before we start, let me preface with some base facts. See, Indonesia is one of the most online populations on Earth. And according to the Ministry of Communication and Information, or better known as Kominfo, in 2023, Indonesia ranks fourth in the world in total internet users. And based on data portal's 2024 Digital Insights, Indonesians spend 7 to 9 hours per day on screens, which means that before we even open a lecture slide, many of us have already spent a school day's worth of screen time on our phones. So the question no longer becomes should we use technology? It's do we still control it or does it control us? Because excessive screen exposure is proven to be tied to anxiety, disrupted sleep, reduced self esteem, and emotional exhaustion. See, a 2024 study by Nabila et al. In the Journal of Public Health found that Indonesian university students with higher screen time reported significantly higher stress levels and weaker emotional regulation. Now, the tricky part of this scrolling feels like a rest. Short videos feel like a break. Notifications feel social. But neurologically, it's not rest. It's dopamine spikes that increase stress and reduce our ability to emotionally regulate over time. We think we're taking a break, but actually we're exhausting our brains. So, with that information, when pivoting to academics, studies from Ward et al. In 2017 within the Journal of the Association for Consumer Research shows that students check their phones 3 to 5 times per lecture, and that's a lot. But according to research evaluated by May and Elder in 2018, the mere presence of a phone near them reduces cognitive capacity and memory retention. Even more alarming, multitasking with digital devices can actually lower our comprehension performance by 30 to 40%, which that's a lot. So when we say I focus better when I scroll, the data says otherwise. See, our brains don't multitask. They actually switch tasks. And every switch drains attention, memory, and learning power. Not only that, the apps of today are not built to help us study. Rather, they're built to hook us. Infinite scroll, autoplay, personalized feeds. This is what Mortag and colleagues in 2019 called digital addiction design. Even worse, many students now say they can't study without background digital noise. Not because it helps, but because silence has started to feel uncomfortable. And let me tell you this that discomfort isn't boredom, it's actually withdrawal from overstimulation. And this is already affecting campuses. In 2023, the Jakarta Post documented that lecturers from major universities such as Universitas Indonesia or UI and Universitas Gadjah Mada or UGM reported classroom disruption due to students consuming TikTok and short-form content between class intervals. And some lecturers have actually informally requested phone-free learning so as not to distract from their studies and restrict students. But because learning can no longer compete with algorithms, what can we do to resolve this? The answer isn't to shame students or even ban technology entirely, but to redesign the learning environment. See, a campus digital wellness policy could include, say, one, gadget-free lectures, unless, of course, devices are needed academically. And two, screen-free study zones, such as libraries and lounges. Three, first-year digital wellness seminars on the psychology of attention. Four, support for lecturers to enforce device boundaries. And five, last but not least, more analog learning spaces. Say discussion, whiteboard, printed notes, and the like. Because this is not an individual failure. It's a fundamental design problem requiring systematic solutions. As researcher Adam Alter in 2022 explains, you can't defeat addictive technology with willpower. You defeat it by changing the environment. Now, this also has the benefit of aligning with Pancasila, which is one of Indonesia's core ideologies, especially by protecting students' well-being from exploitative technology and allowing equal opportunity to learn without distraction. And if Indonesia aims for a golden generation in 2045, we need students capable of deep work, critical thinking, and sustained focus, not constant scrolling. So let's reframe the idea. A phone-free lecture isn't a restriction of freedom. It's freedom from distraction. Because real empowerment is not constant connection. It's owning your attention. Thank you.